So Nate, as a resource leader, I'm helping my guys know how to meet new students and pursue them.
Yeah.
And one thing I've seen before is someone will spend a lot of time with a particular student. Maybe they go out and do a lot of things, and they're trying to pursue them, trying to bring God into it, and it's just not working.
Yeah.
Do you think there's are we pursuing wrong, or is there a certain type of student we're looking for? How do you kind of discern that type of thing?
Yeah, it's a great question, Eric. And it's one that we've wrestled with really for years because on one hand, we're trying to figure out the core values of our ministry that in one hand, we're trying to say like, hey, every student needs to be reached. But we also are understanding that when we're doing what we call intentional outreach, the idea of like, hey, this is a moment to reach out to a specific group of people, there has to be a certain basis of potential for a relationship to move forward. Otherwise, we're just pursuing after people that are running away from us. And we seem to be competing with principles that Jesus talks about, whether talking about like pearls before swine or the example of the rich young ruler who would walk away and Jesus would let him. And so in life of ministry, there's much more room to just say like be a minister to your world, to minister to your peers, and to build that relationship that could lead somewhere else. But intentional outreach, meaning like, hey, say Welcome Week or reaching out to, missions trips are a normal example of that, where we're reaching out to a specific group of people for a specific moment with a specific opportunity in mind. And in those moments, there's a lot more, I think, need for understanding of how to filter or fight for someone. And so one of the ways that we often say this is, are they okay with you? Because if they're not okay with you, I mean, what's the point, right? Like,
Yeah, they'll just
yeah,
they'll ditch you first
exactly.
opportunity.
And we find that too. Sometimes just the chemistry for whatever reason, or somebody is, you got somebody who's a grad student and you're like a sophomore in college, and the connection just doesn't quite work with their life phase. But if they're not okay with you, then you can try to hand off a potential relationship, but don't try to pursue it if it doesn't seem like it's working. The other one is, are they okay with Jesus? And it doesn't mean that they have to want Jesus even. But if they're not okay with Jesus being in the room, if they're not okay with Jesus being part of your relationship, the relationships in your life, like you talk about who you care about. And if you're talking about Jesus, if you're talking about your faith, if you're bringing him up and bringing him in to the friendship, that's great. But if you're not able to do that, then you're not able to really express that conviction that we're fighting for, like authentic brotherhood or relationship with those people that we're really striving to have in the kingdom of God. The third one is just similar to those is are they okay with our community? And sometimes we have found that somebody's like, hey, I like to hang out with you. I'm even cool with Jesus, but I don't want to ever be around your friends, right? Like it's just you and me. And that is so debilitating for a small group leader, for discipleship, because none of us are enough of the kingdom of God. None of us are enough of an expression of Jesus to the world to be able to do it on our own. And so we need the community to express what real brotherhood is, what authenticity and honor and love for one another, life together. All those expressions come from the expression of the community to one another. And so we say in that initial connection, try to talk about, and we talk about that in like 6 steps to meeting somebody and different concepts like that, but like try to find natural ways, but intentionally bring up, of course, yourself, Jesus, and the community that you're part of. Sometimes you can do those two, especially kind of together, as talking about being part of a campus ministry intuits something of your faith in there. But you're looking for if they're okay. And if they're okay with those 3, and they want one, like there's something that like, hey, there's something I can start from and build from, then you can really move from there into other phases of fighting for someone more deliberately. But what we typically say is if they aren't okay with one of those, then take the moment to minister to them if you can. Like ask the Lord for a word, minister in some way to them, share something with them, or in any way that you can in that moment if possible. Because the reality is even if you tried to pursue them, you're probably never going to get very far. So take that moment, swing for the fences, try for that home run in that moment. But after that, if you want to, relegate them to invitation, maybe, right? Like just invite them into some things and see if, in a week or in a month or in some season in the near future, things change in their heart. But don't spend a lot of energy pursuing, fighting for someone in the pursuit way of like constantly trying to hang out with them, constantly trying to like get them into your life if they don't want that.
That's good.